I am Yoriful, and I hope you had a great weekend. Well, there's been so much that's been happening, and I think we need to give it a little bit more time for it to sort of marinate properly. Let's not just jump at it. But one thing that has been marinating for a while is the stewardship of the president in terms of what he's been up against and what he's been doing about it, and what the current environment looks like. Our guest this morning is a commentator on public affairs, architect Tunde Imolehin. He's an architect and he's an environmentalist as well, apart from being a stalwart of the ruling party. So a fine morning to you, Tunde.
Morning, Mr. Fulari. It's good to be here again.
Same feeling here. Okay. As you know, there's been the conversation has been ongoing. Times are quite tough in the country, and that has led to a lot of people speaking about the state we're in and what is being done about it. And as you know, there will be many who will be saying that absolutely nothing is being done about it. Just look at it. Look at our condition. Look at where we are. And there are those who will be saying that, hang on, guys, let's put back on the cap of reason. We know what's going on. And one of the last things you can say is that the president isn't doing anything. The president and his team are not doing anything about it. But, however, translating directly a Yoruba expression into English, it is not when stomach is in the hunger is in the stomach that any other matter will get a fair, hearing. So that, I think, is what we're at. And the truth is, there are many who are in that.
I understand.
It doesn't matter whether you're a supporter, whether you're not a supporter, none of that matters. Look at this protracted thing that we've been dealing with, the minimum wage. Is it? Yeah, that's what it is, the minimum wage. The president, he has been hands-on on that. In fact, we have, a little film about that. Let's look at that as one of the things that have been going on behind the scene. Is by no means
That's a fine example of collective bargaining.
Exactly. Let's look at this picture. Let's look at this video, and then we'll be right back to continue our conversation.
Okay.
Currently, we couldn't get hold of the video as at when we wanted to. But you know all about it. And once again, architect Tunde Imolehin is our guest. So as I was saying, Tunde, before going over to attempt to play that video, if we were to look at, do an assessment of the efforts of this administration, give me an overview of how you would put it, because things are hard, and people want the condition to be much better, not just tomorrow, possibly even yesterday, if you get my meaning. That's how bad things are. Give me your assessment and efforts at redressing these issues.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Fulari. As a Nigerian, if you ask me to speak on what is going on, I would say that legitimately I have every right to assess my government. I have every right to assess the president. I have every right to assess the people that have entrusted power in. And I would say that I have a right to criticize based on, I have the grounds. But if you also ask me to do the same thing as a Nigerian, as a patriot, I will also tell you that I have a right, to assess the president or government, the federal government, whether he's doing well or whether he's not doing well. But I don't have sufficient reasons to prosecute him. I don't have sufficient reasons to put him behind the bar. And I don't have the sufficient reasons, to impeach him, because it's not for me to do. I can criticize, and within the law, I can responsibly do that as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, and also have the right to say the government is doing well and is not doing well. This is what you can do, and this is what you should do. This is what you promised, and these are gaps, and this is exactly. It behoves of the president or the leader, let me use the word leader now, to listen to you and make corrections because he's human. And if he listens from one time to the other and he does the right thing, then of course that means it's a responsive president, leader. Let me use the word leader now. This leader has spent 28% out of his 100% within his tenure in government. He has spent just 28%. He has 72% to go on the journey. And here we are saying he should leave. He should do this, he should do that. Then we don't, what happens to sustainability? What happens to low-hanging fruits? What happens to sustainable ideas and the reforms that he started? You see, that's my question. I'm not saying that people don't have any right to complain. They do. It's a legitimate right. They have it, unhindered, according to the Constitution. They have. I mean, right to protest, right to express your grievances. But my point and my take is that people should responsibly do that. And people should look back and make sure that they don't protest and in a situation whereby it becomes counterproductive. He has just spent 28% of his 100%, and he has done a lot. What are the functions of a leader? What are the qualities of a leader? A leader that is empathetic, a leader that is listening, a leader that is decisive, takes decision at the right time. Leaders are prone to mistakes, but when you make mistakes, you accept it, you are humble enough to accept them. We have seen the attributes of leadership being displayed in this government at the center. So, I have not been able to see enough or adequate or sufficient reasons why this president should, excuse, the job. So, well, but that does not mean that there is...
Let me come in there.
Excuse me, that does not mean that this president does not have his plate full. He has a lot on his plate, and his job is cut out for him.
Indeed.
And to believe that you have to wait for 2027 to do anything, no, it is now. I think there is a need for a lot to be done in really managing this situation, because our situation requires a total surgery that would not bring any gains immediately. We have to understand
I hear
this,
what you're saying,
and we have to make sacrifices.
Indeed. I hear what you're saying today. I was just going to come in and say that, well, you do have a sympathetic view, and that is your right. Perhaps you'll also grant that,
objective view.
Objective and sympathetic of the situation that any leader today in Nigeria would find himself in. It happens to be Tinubu. And so he himself does not shy away from the job. In fact, he famously said at one stage, "Do not pity me. I begged for this job. I applied for this job." I think he's sufficiently a statesman to know what it takes. Although I will be a bit surprised, I will be perhaps a bit surprised if he wasn't caught unawares by some of the things that have come to pass since he assumed office. Food inflation, first and foremost. We go back to that, my very poor translation of the Yoruba expression, where once you're hungry, reason flies out the window. Food inflation is
of course, food inflation is about 40%. And
there you go. There you go. That
generally,
exactly.
Inflation is about 34%.
And all of
and
these...
And then we have issues of foreign exchange, retooling, and what have you, and there's more the consequences.
Now you're talking to me. So this is the milieu. This is the milieu in which, let me say it again, that the way I first of all said it, any Nigerian leader, and it happens to be Tinubu, and he's not shying away from the job, has to operate. And these are not the most popular of times for any such leader. But I agree with you that there are things that are being done. And sometimes in frustration, people are likely to say that simply because, well, I will remove the word simply, because I'm hungry, I don't really see anything that is being done. So it's a problem. You yourself rattled off a few of the things that are big, big problems for us. But you talked about low-hanging fruits. And I think, well, maybe I wouldn't have put it exactly as low-hanging fruits, but things that are being done that are positive and that might not be getting the full value that they need to be given, such as I was speaking about the collective bargaining and the president coming in on it, and now he has approved 70,000 naira. You know, Labour itself says that it was the best option in this circumstance. So he is working, but the challenge here is that I don't know if everybody else is working along with him. And I know that's a very delicate thing for me to say because all the governors will be watching. Everybody puts their, garbage at the doorstep of the president. He is the number one, quote-unquote, dustman. Put it there. There are people who have said that, wait a minute, instead of overwhelming that side, what about the governors? What about the governors? They have different situations. Are we really asking them enough? We're asking Mr. President for everything. So maybe that is the kind of thing that we might be talking about as to how to sort of maneuver ourselves in this situation. By all means, later on, you can come to the matter of protest because there are those who are saying that a protest is necessary. As we're speaking, I'm hearing others say that think about this protest properly. What is it going to achieve? Is it really the thing to be doing? Will it not be hijacked and all of those kind of things? I hope you understand. I'm trying to put it in perspective as to why people are very sore at the moment. I don't know if you agree.
Yes, you've touched most of the things that are on the front burner right now. People want to protest, people are angry, people are hungry. I'm hungry too. I mean, my budget have had to make a lot of sacrifices at home and even beyond. I mean, just adjustments just to suit the present economic reality. I think everything boils down to the management of macroeconomic principles, the monetary and the fiscal policies of the administration, given what has happened in the past.
Sorry, let me just make I beg your pardon, Tunde. Forgive me for interrupting you. Let me just make this quick announcement. The Speaker of the House of Reps, Tajuddin Abbas,